On today's episode of Weekend Wankshop, you're going to sit down with Uncle Ben here and learn how to play my guest solo on the Rest Repose song, The Cycle. Hello friends, and welcome to this week's episode of Weekend Wankshop. Here with your good buddy, Uncle Ben. Rest Repose is a rock and roll fun time party band that features my main man, Ryan Bruce, who a lot of you guys know as Fluff, or the Riffs and Beards guy. The band also features good old Jared Dines, who has one of the most successful music-related YouTube channels on the web. It also features a couple of other dudes that are just total hunks. Earlier this year, whenever the band was working on putting together their self-titled full-length LP, old Ryan hit me up asking if I would like to contribute a guest solo to the record. So of course I said, yes, I would. And then I did. Last week the record started to break through on the Billboard charts and hit number 22 last time I checked, which is pretty rad. So I figured what a perfect time to show you guys how to play those hot licks that I put down on that solo. But before we start breaking it down, let's hear it again at stepdad speed. And don't forget, you can get a full tab for this over on my Instagram page. So be sure to go over to Instagram and find me at Ben Eller Guitars. Find the tab for this week's lick, learn how to play it, and then upload a video of you shredding through it along with the hashtag Weekend Wankshop. First things first, the original song is in drop B tuning. That's the tuning that they're using. I recorded my solo all in standard tuning though. So if you want to play it just like this, just leave that guitar in standard tuning. I recorded it here on my Suhr Modern Satin, which is bone stock. Lovely guitar. Okay, the first thing in the solo is just a slide down the neck on the E string, followed by this lick that I ripped off from Slash's Sweet Child of Mine solo. So how I'm playing that phrase there is to start off on the 7th fret high E string. I play that 2 times. 10th fret B pulling off to 7. That's your first phrase. That's down, up, down, picking hand-wise. Second phrase here is going to start off on the 10th fret B string, play him 2 times and pull off to 7, down, up, pull. Then I'm going to play the 9th G with the downstroke. So now you have first phrase, down, up, down, pull. Second phrase, down, up, pull, down. Third phrase here is going to be the 7th fret B string, played 2 times, down, up, G string fret 9 with the downstroke, pull off to 7. Then the last phrase here is going to be the 9th fret G 2 times, pull off to 7, 9th fret D. Then what you're going to do is to play the 7th fret D, sliding up a whole step to 9, and applying some juicy vibrats. So one more time, that's down, up, down, pull, down, up, pull, down, down, up, down, pull, down, up, pull, down, up. After that I play a pretty simple phrase. Now I'm playing the 7th fret G here, but it's preceded with a rake. I'm getting that rake sound right there by simply muting the low E, A, and D strings with my right hand. Like if I just played this for you, that's what they sound like. Notice my palm mute isn't back at the bridge like it would be if I was riffing, because then I would get all that ring out. I got to push the hand forward a little bit so those bottom strings are just mush. But at the same time, don't mute the G string or else you'll end up with that. You got to make sure your hand is high enough that it's not on the G string. So I rake through those low strings, hit the 7th G, hammer on to 9, and then I'm just going to go back and play that 7th fret G string again. With some juicy vibrats, of course. Then we got this. Now, this is an upwards and a downwards rake, and I'm basically achieving this by using my first finger to mute out all 6 strings. It might look like I'm fretting a chord or something right now, but I'm not. I've got my ring and little fingers on the G and B fret number 9 respectively right now, but they're not fretting, they're just touching. The string should just sound like muted junk like that. What you gotta do is go up through the strings really hard and then down through the strings really hard. And on your way down is when you're gonna fret these notes, grab that 9th fret G and B and give them a half step bend. So you got your upwards rake and your downwards rake, which concludes with you fretting these notes. Doing a quick half step bend. Let's do that again. Up and down. And then slowly start bringing those strings up into another half step bend. So you got a quick half step bend up and down, and then a slow half step bend that comes up. Like that. And then this standard textbook rock and roll phrase. 7th E, 10th B, 7th B, 9th fret G string with a whole step bend up and down, pull off to 7, and then play the 9th D. Whenever I hit that last note, I kind of slide up the neck, actually, to get ready for these next couple of phrases. Like that. Then you get the 3 high, fast, minor pentatonic runs. First one here starts off on the A string here on the fret number 17 and 19. Then you gotta go to the D string here and play 16, 19. Same thing on the G, 16, 19. And then you're gonna play the 17th fret B string and hit that note and then bend it up a full step. You don't want to bend right away like that. You want to hear the E note and then hear it get yanked up to F sharp. Whenever you get to the top of that bend, mute it with the right hand to kill the note. That way you don't hear go. You don't want to hear that. You just want to hear the bend go up and then get cut off. The next phrase right here is going to start off on the 16th fret D string. You're going to play 16 and then 19 just like before. Same thing on the G, 16, 19. Then you're going to play that 17th fret B and then the 19th fret B. Now this time when you grab this 19th fret B, we're going to give that a 1.5 step bend. So this is where we're bending here from F sharp all the way up to A, 1.5 steps away. Kind of in that Dave Gilmour territory. It's got to be big. The last lick here is up in the dusty frets. It's kind of back in the typical minor pentatonic box position. We're going to play 19 and then 21 on the G. We're going to play 19 then 22 on the B. On the high E string here, we're going to play 19 hammering on to 22. So there's one hammer on right there. After that, you're going to shift up a whole step to fret number 24, if your guitar has one. Give that a whole step bend. Let it down, and then play the 22 on the E. That is a high F sharp note you're hitting right there. So we're looking for this is probably the hardest bunch of phrases in the solo to play, not only because of the speed of them, but also the timing. The first one and the third one are based on 16th notes, but the second one is based around triplets. And at that tempo, it can be kind of hard to really feel out the difference between those 16ths and those triplets. So I'm going to play it a few times with a metronome so you can hear what I'm talking about. Also, none of these licks start on the downbeat. They all come in on the upbeat, which I think is always a more interesting and less kind of expected sort of feel rhythmically. So yeah, these all come in on upbeats and they're of sort of varying time feels. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then the last phrase, which is right here in the B minor blues scale. We're going to play the 19th fret high E, 22nd fret B string pulling off to 19. So that's, then we're going to play 22 on the G, then back to that 19 on the B. So now you got, after that we're going to play 22 on the G, 21 on the G with a pull off to 19. So now you're at, I'll play it again. And then what we're going to do is a little kind of Zakk Wylde phrase here. This is just me playing 21 and 19 on the G. Same thing on the D, 21, 19. Same thing on the G, same thing on the D. So now you got and then the main guitar that you hear hits fret number 21 on the G and bends it up a whole step up to an F sharp note, which is the third of the chord going on behind it, which is a D. So one guitar will grab that 21 on the G string, give it a whole step bend, but also recorded another overdub where the other guitar there just plays the 19th fret G string, the D note, the root note of the chord. So if you'll listen real closer on that last section, you hear one guitar that goes and another one that goes like that. So one more time all together. We got our slash rip off, rake on the G, our up down rake, and then that double stop on G and B, rock and roll. Then our first 16th note phrase up here, whole step, second phrase, that's the triplets with the whole and a half, and then that last phrase, presto. So there you go, guys, a super smashing solo in the style of your good old Uncle Ben. I was really just trying to rip off Dime and Wes Houck as much as I could in that, though. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope that you dig what you saw and heard. Also, I hope that you guys will go and buy the Rest Repose album, self-titled album, which you can find on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere that you can get music. But please do buy it. Support all of us YouTube chumps. If you guys like, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ben Eller Guitars. You can also go like my Facebook fan page on facebook.com/UncleBenEller. And if you'd like to book some one-on-one Skype lessons to talk about technique and theory and all that stuff, you can drop me an email, benellerguitars@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and a huge thank you goes to Ryan and Jared and all the dudes in Rest Repose for asking me to contribute to their awesome record. It's a real privilege and an honor. Thanks again. Stay tuned for another sick lick next week. Cheers.